getting back to Jeanette Cooper. So she previously had custody of her daughter after getting divorced her husband a couple years before this, 7 nights, 6 days a week. And she says this really came out of nowhere. Her daughter probably had a sense of where her mother stood on this issue and went to her father's home with her new stepmother one day. And instead of returning home, she informed her mother she felt unsafe around her and was transgender and didn't want to come home. And it was really from that point on where the court process began, because when a child claims she feels unsafe, it is the court's duty to investigate. And as difficult as that was for Jeanette, she understood that. And she thought as soon as they complete this investigation, this will be all be over. This will be a complete misunderstanding. They will see I love my child to no end. And yet the result of that investigation and what we see in the final parenting agreement is that this family court in Chicago says Jeanette does not have an understanding of her child's transgender identity. And so until she, checks certain boxes, she does not have the ability to parent her child.
So the government took custody away from this mother, not for any harassment, not for any bullying, not for any abuse, but simply because of a political, religious, and scientific difference of opinion with her minor child.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Anyone who has doubts about this story, I reported it out. I took a lot of time on the story because I knew how sensitive it was. And I knew people would look at it and try to poke holes at it. What
did the investigators say? I mean, did they come to her and say, we have found that you created an unsafe environment? Or did they provide any evidence? I mean, what are the details here? Or did they literally look her in the eye and say, because you don't want to transition your daughter, that's all it takes, just that in a box, and you've lost your kid?
So you can see in the final parenting agreement where it stipulates what the arrangements are. All the court said is cited Jeanette's inability to understand transgender identity. And a side note here, Liz, her daughter doesn't even identify as transgender according to public appearances. We concealed her name. Jeanette Cooper is speaking under her maiden name, so she is protecting her daughter. So we did not publish her daughter's real last name. I hope everyone listening respects her daughter's privacy. But I can tell you...
her daughter's a victim too. Her daughter's not the bad guy in this situation.
That is exactly the point Jeanette Cooper wants to make, that her daughter is being manipulated and victimized by this. She is the greatest victim of it. Think about everything Jeanette has been through, and she will still tell you that her daughter is the greatest victim in this.